New York, Chicago, and even Japanese. How many cheesecake have you ever eaten or ever made? Well, do you know about the one from France, from Pays Basque? It's burnt, it's creamy on the inside, it's absolutely delicious, and it's so easy to make. And on top of it, it goes best with a little bit of sherry wine. A delight. I cannot wait to share it with you. So let's do it. First, let's line up our cheesecake mold. Right, so we're gonna take a good old note of butter and we're gonna make sure we go all around the mold as well as the bottom of the surface. Make sure it is very greasy. And then we're gonna start adding our parchment paper. You wanna make sure that it goes at least 2 inches up high. So you're gonna use 2 pieces of parchment, one on top of the other. And like I said, make sure you really get that height because the cheesecake might go higher than the actual height of the pan, just like so. Okay, now that our parchment is lined up in our mold, we are going to start mixing the cheesecake. So like I said, this recipe is fairly simple. So we're gonna use a stand mixer, but you could also just use a bowl and a whisk or a spatula. It requires a bit more work, but it's doable. Anyway, so we're gonna add all of our cream cheese into little squares into a stand mixer. We're gonna add then the sugar, and we're gonna let that mix on medium-high speed for about 2 to 3 minutes. The idea is to make sure it's all combined together and is no more lumps. You want to make sure that you're also going to scrape down the bowl here and then. That way you're not going to have any pieces remaining. Then we're going to add the eggs. But when you add the eggs, you want to make sure you add them one by one until they are incorporated, about 15 seconds in between. And again, we're going to let it go until it's completely smooth. And then we're going to go back with a little scraper. Like you want to do that pretty much every time you add something. You want to make sure you scrape the sides as well as the bottom. Now is the time to add our flavors. So we're going to add salt. We're going to add our vanilla. I'm using vanilla extract. You could add lemon. You could add anything you want. You make it your own. But in this case, we're just going to do vanilla. Now we're going to add our cream. So this is heavy cream, about 2 cups. You'll see the recipe in the link below. And we're going to just mix that. Make sure it's on slow because you don't want this to go everywhere. The cheesecake's supposed to be in the pan, not in your face. What's the next step, you ask? Well, we're gonna add the flour, and you want to make sure that you sift your flour. Honestly, anytime you make any type of baking goods, you want to make sure that's always happening, so you remove all impurities, and that way you have a perfect, nice flour, and it's not going to make any lumps or anything into your batter. So we're gonna mix that until again thorough combine, and that's it, guys. The mix is ready. So all you gotta do at this point is just to make sure that you clean the paddle so you don't lose any of that mix. Make sure you stir around, scrape the side of the bowl. I think I said that so many times, so I think we all know what's happening. And wow, we're ready. So what are we doing next, you ask? We're going to simply pour the mix into a cheesecake pan. Once again, nothing is rocket science about this recipe, so we are simply going to place all of the batter into the cake pan. We're also going to make sure that our oven is preheated at 400 degrees Fahrenheit because we are going to place that in the oven, shall we? We are now going to bake our cheesecake at 400 degrees Fahrenheit for 60 to 65 minutes. Do not worry about it to look burnt. This is what we're looking for, like a nice golden brown caramelized top. And also make sure it's nice and jiggly in the center because it's going to still carry on cooking after it's out of the oven. Let's do it. And in the oven it goes for a good hour, and we'll see what it looks like then. 65 minutes later. And our cheesecake is baked. So we are simply going to pull it out of the oven onto the table, and make sure you don't drop it. Would be sad, wouldn't it? Wow, that looks absolutely amazing. It's nice and jiggly in the center. We're now going to let it cool for about 25 to 30 minutes, and we're gonna unmold and we'll give it a try. 20 minutes later. Alright, so I've let the cheesecake cool down for now about 20 minutes. So we're just going to release it. And I'm gonna let it cool down completely before we try it. This B-roll is brought to you by Philadelphia. Yeah, you wish. Alright, our cheesecake is completely cooled down. I got a little glass of sherry to go with it. I'm going to unwrap it, cut a slice, and we're gonna try it. So this is not the kind of cheesecake that's gonna have some beautiful smooth outwards. We're actually going for that rustic look. So do not feel defeated when you peel it off. You did a great job. We are simply going to slice a little piece of a pie, and we're gonna check the inside. We wanna make sure this is beautiful, creamy, and it's just, oh, wow. I think that's it, guys. I think we did a really good job on this one. Do you see this? Probably my best cheesecake I ever made. If you enjoyed this video, please like, comment, and subscribe. I will see you on the next episode, and if you can tell me in the comment below what cheesecake is your favorite, I'd love to know. And if you allow me to try, Are you kidding me right now? This is so creamy and so flavorful. And I've heard it's best enjoyed with a bit of sherry, so I will see you soon.